Have you ever drifted off to sleep and wondered how creatures that roam the vast cold darkness of the ocean find their rest? Picture a whale, a creature longer than a bus, heavier than an army tank, floating weightless in blue depths that never close their eyes. How does such a giant, always on the move, sleep without drowning in a world where sleep can mean sinking too deep or forgetting to breathe? Unlike us, whales live in a place where resting is not as simple as closing their eyes. They are mammals just like we are, which means they need air to survive. But they don't have gills to filter oxygen from the sea. Instead, they must surface, sometimes every few minutes, sometimes every hour, to take that life-saving breath of air. Yet even giants get tired. Their colossal hearts slow, their muscles drift into calm, and their massive minds need moments of stillness to recover from endless migration, hunting, and singing songs that echo for miles through salt water. So how do they sleep while needing to remember to breathe, and how do they avoid drifting into dangers lurking in the deep? The secret of the whale's sleep lies in a remarkable trick of the brain. A trick that lets one half dream while the other stays wide awake, always alert to the pull of the sea and the need to rise for the next breath. To understand how whales sleep, you first have to imagine doing something impossible for a human, shutting down only half your brain at a time. While we drift into dreams fully unconscious, whales, along with dolphins and some seals, have evolved a brilliant solution called unihemispheric slow-wave sleep. In this state, one half of the whale's brain rests deeply while the other half stays alert. The resting side drifts into the slow, calm waves of sleep, repairing the mind and conserving energy. Meanwhile, the awake side keeps watch, monitoring the ocean around them, controlling movement, and, most importantly, remembering to breathe. This split brain sleep is the whale's lifeline in a world that never stops moving. There's no cozy bed in the deep, just currents, predators, and the constant need to surface for air. If a whale fully shut down both brain hemispheres, it could easily drift too deep and drown or become an easy meal for a lurking shark. So whales float through their watery realm, half awake, half asleep, never fully slipping away. Their muscles relax just enough to save energy, their huge hearts slow to a resting beat, but their conscious side stays on guard. Counting the seconds, guiding the slow swim to the surface for that vital breath. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. This unique sleep doesn't look the same for every whale species. From gentle giants like blue whales to playful orcas and social sperm whales, each has found its own way to nap in the ocean's vast embrace. If you could dive deep enough to spy on a sleeping whale, you might be surprised by what you'd see. Unlike us curling up under blankets, many whales sleep while drifting motionless near the surface, or sometimes while slowly swimming alongside their pod. Sperm whales, for example, are famous for one of the ocean's strangest sights. They often sleep vertically, heads up and tails dangling down like massive silent pillars in the blue. In groups, they'll hang in this dreamy trance together for minutes at a time, unmoving in a sunlit shaft of water. To stumble upon them is to witness an underwater forest of whales suspended in a secret drifting sleep. Other whales, like orcas and some dolphins, tend to stay on the move even as they rest. Mothers with calves may swim slowly side by side, half awake, so that the baby can breathe often at the surface while mum naps with one eye open. Literally. The open eye stays connected to the awake half of the brain, scanning for danger, keeping pace with the group, and remembering when to rise for air. This gentle drift or slow swimming also helps whales stay buoyant. Unlike fish, they don't have swim bladders to help them float at a set depth. If they stop moving completely, they risk sinking into darker, colder depths where the pressure rises and oxygen becomes harder to manage. So each whale species has found its own careful balance, rest just enough to recharge, but never fully let go. They float in pairs, pods, or silent vertical clusters, living proof that in the deep ocean, sleep must bend to survival's demands. The idea of sleeping while half awake might sound exhausting to us, but for whales, it's an ancient design. An evolutionary masterpiece honed over millions of years in a world where stopping completely can mean death. Unlike land mammals, whales don't have an automatic breathing reflex that works when they're fully unconscious. We humans breathe even in deep sleep. Our lungs fill and empty without any conscious effort. But a whale's breath is a deliberate act, a choice it makes every single time. There's no autopilot. If a whale truly switched off its mind, it would simply sink or drown when its next breath was due. So their brains evolved this remarkable system. The half that stays awake controls when to swim, when to drift upward, and when to surface for that crucial breath of air. Some whales surface every few minutes while sleeping, taking a gentle puff before drifting back down into deeper calm. Others can hold their breath far longer, dozing in slow cycles of rise and fall. This unihemispheric sleep isn't unique to whales alone. Dolphins, porpoises, and even some birds share this survival trick. In seabirds, one half of the brain can nap while the other watches for predators during long ocean flights. But nowhere is this ability more dramatic or more necessary than in whales, whose entire existence depends on staying tethered to the thin line between sea and sky. And yet, even with this adaptation, sleep is still a precious thing for whales. They don't drift away for hours like we do. Their naps are short, scattered, and often just enough to keep them going as they migrate across entire oceans. So how much sleep does a whale really get? And what do scientists know about their dreams, if they dream at all? To find out, we have to follow researchers who dare to study these silent sleepers in the restless deep. For scientists, studying a sleeping whale is like chasing a ghost in a vast moving world. There's no pillow or bed to mark where they rest, just the open ocean, where even the largest creatures can vanish into darkness with a single flick of a tail. So how do researchers learn how much whales sleep, or how they do it? The answer lies in clever detective work, tagging, tracking, and patient observation. Scientists attach harmless tracking devices to whales, recording their depth, movement, and surfacing patterns over days or weeks. By analyzing these patterns, they spot moments when a whale drifts slowly, moves less, or floats near the surface, signs that it's slipping into rest. For species like sperm whales, dramatic vertical sleeping clusters have been spotted by divers and captured on underwater cameras. These rare encounters confirmed what tracking data suggested, that whales sometimes shut down for short naps, often only 10 to 5 minutes at a time. Sperm whales, for example, may sleep less than 2 hours in an entire day, scattered in these short dreamlike suspensions. Orcas and dolphins closer to shore have taught us even more. In aquariums and controlled environments, scientists have watched them swim gently in circles while half the brain naps. Newborn calves who need to breathe frequently often don't sleep at all for their first few weeks. Instead, they ride alongside their mothers in a gentle slipstream called echelon swimming. The calf rests, the mother stays half awake, guiding both to the surface over and over. What about dreams? Do whales see visions as we do in deep sleep? No one knows for certain. Since whales don't enter full unconscious sleep like humans, they likely don't dream in the same vivid way we do. But their slow wave sleep might bring a drifting sense of rest, a gentle wash of calm in an ocean that never sleeps. What scientists do know is this: every breath, every flick of a fin, every moment of whale sleep is part of a delicate dance of survival. And sometimes the ocean's biggest sleepers give us fleeting glimpses of how beautiful and mysterious that dance can be. When people imagine whales sleeping, they often picture peaceful giants floating in calm blue water. But the truth is, the ocean is rarely so gentle. For whales, resting means trusting the sea to hold them while also staying wary of its hidden threats. In the open ocean, predators lurk. Orcas may hunt other whales. Large sharks may prowl beneath drifting pods. Even a sleeping giant must keep part of its mind awake, ready to sense vibrations or subtle shifts in pressure that warn of danger. That's where pods and family groups come in. Many whales are deeply social. They sleep together, resting in clusters or pairs that move as one. This isn't just for warmth or company, it's protection. One whale might nap while another stays more alert, their half-awake brains forming a living watchtower against threats in the vast blue dark. Some species have turned this teamwork into a rhythm of the deep. Sperm whales, when sleeping vertically in groups, often hang just beneath the surface near each other's heads. Should one sense danger, a flick of its tail or sudden shift will rouse the others. Within seconds, the silent pillars become living torpedoes, plunging to safer depths or racing away. Even mothers and calves have their own version of this partnership. A newborn whale must breathe far more often than an adult every few minutes, so a mother rarely sleeps deeply. Instead, she swims slowly with her calf tucked near her side, half awake, guiding them both up and down in gentle, regular rises for air. This vigilance is part of the cost of being warm-blooded in a world designed for gilled creatures. But it's also a testament to how whales, the largest brains in the sea, have learned to rest while never truly letting go. Next, we'll see how these sleeping habits shape a whale's migration, survival, and what happens when their resting rhythms collide with the human world. For whales, sleep is not just a private drift through the deep, it's woven into the rhythm of their epic journeys. Many whale species migrate thousands of miles every year, crossing entire oceans in search of food, mates, or safe waters to raise their young. Along the way, they must find pockets of rest in a world that never truly stands still. Take the humpback whale. These singers travel between cold feeding grounds rich with fish and krill and warm breeding grounds where calves are born. Along this migration route, they nap on the move, slipping into slow wave sleep in short bursts while drifting with currents or swimming gently alongside companions. A sleeping whale might glide for miles without truly waking. For calves, the stakes are even higher. A baby whale must surface to breathe every few minutes but is not yet strong enough to swim alone for long. While mothers rest half awake, the calf nestles close, riding in her slipstream. This constant motion ensures the baby can nap without stopping its life-saving surfacing routine. The mother sacrifices deep rest to keep her young alive, embodying an ancient cycle of care passed down through generations. But these delicate sleep rhythms face new dangers in the modern ocean. The hum of ship engines, the drone of sonar, and the roar of oil rigs all break the underwater silence. Whales rely on to navigate, hunt, and rest. Noise pollution can jolt a whale's half-sleep into startled wakefulness, scatter pods, or force them to dive deeper when they should be surfacing to breathe. In places where shipping lanes cross migration routes, exhausted whales sometimes collide with ships, too tired or disoriented to avoid a fatal strike. For animals that live by memory and ancient patterns, the modern sea has become an obstacle course that interrupts even their stolen moments of drifting rest. Yet despite all this, whales endure. They adapt, shift routes, learn to navigate new hazards. They still drift in pairs, rest vertically in silent pods, and carry on the deep, patient art of sleeping in a place where stopping completely has never been an option. Next, we'll explore the surprising ways humans have tried to learn from whales' unique sleep, and what these ocean giants can teach us about our own restless brains. Watching whales sleep in the deep has inspired more than just awe. It sparked a curious question among scientists and dreamers alike. Could humans learn something from these gentle giants of the sea? Unihemispheric slow-wave sleep, that amazing trick of shutting down only half the brain, is a marvel of natural design. Researchers studying whales and dolphins have wondered if this split-brain slumber might hold clues for humans who need to stay awake and alert for long periods, like pilots, astronauts, or people working dangerous night shifts. Imagine if soldiers on long missions, or doctors in emergency rooms, could rest half their brain at a time, catching moments of real recovery without fully losing awareness. Some sleep researchers even study the whale's sleep to better understand human insomnia, asking if we might someday find safe ways to mimic this trick for people whose restless minds can't fully switch off at night. There's also a fascination with how whales manage their energy. Even with their giant bodies and constant migration, they rest just enough to thrive, avoiding the sleep debt that exhausts so many people on land. Their calm balance of wakefulness and sleep could help scientists unlock secrets about sleep disorders, energy cycles, and the hidden connections between the sleeping mind and the waking one. Yet, for all we've learned, the ocean keeps its secrets well. No brain scan has ever watched a wild whale's sleeping mind in real time. No scientist can yet say for sure if whales dream, if images flicker behind a closed eye while they drift half awake beneath the waves. What we do know is this: by mastering the art of partial rest, whales survive in a place far less forgiving than our beds and blankets. They remind us that sleep is not always about shutting out the world. Sometimes it's about balancing survival with surrender. Next, we'll glimpse how these sleep secrets tie into the deeper intelligence of whales, and what their drifting half-dreams might mean for our understanding of consciousness itself. Peering into how whales sleep inevitably opens another, deeper question. What does this reveal about the whale mind itself? These are not mindless giants drifting through instinct alone. Whales rank among the most intelligent creatures on Earth. Their brains are massive. A sperm whale can weigh nearly 18 pounds, the largest of any animal alive. They have complex social lives, intricate songs, long-term family bonds, and signs of culture passed down through generations. Some pods have unique dialects. Mothers teach calves migration routes that last a lifetime. And yet, when they sleep, they trust only half that vast brain to drift into rest, keeping the other half vigilant in the cold dark. What happens in that sleeping hemisphere? Do whales have primitive dreams, echoes of memories from hunting squid in the deep, or singing songs across miles of ocean? Do they dream of their young, their journeys, the pull of distant breeding grounds? No one knows for certain, and perhaps that mystery is part of the magic. By studying whale sleep, scientists brush against the edges of a bigger puzzle. How does consciousness work when the mind is never fully off? What does it mean for one side to rest while the other stands guard? Could this hint at ways the human mind might one day unlock new layers of awareness? For whales, this balancing act is ancient survival. For us, it's a reminder that rest and wakefulness are not always a switch to flip, but a spectrum, a dance of biology and instinct shaped by millions of years drifting through an ocean that never truly sleeps. As we close in on the final part, we'll see how this remarkable adaptation, half sleep, half vigilance, ties back to the awe and respect these creatures inspire, and what it means for us as we navigate our own restless seas. In the end, the way whales sleep in the deep ocean is more than just an evolutionary trick. It's a quiet testament to resilience and grace in a restless world. Every gentle drift near the surface, every slow, deliberate breath is a living reminder that life finds ways to rest, even when true stillness seems impossible. It's humbling to think about these vast, ancient beings floating through dark blue corridors, half their minds dreaming, half awake, always watching, always remembering to rise for air. For millions of years they have carried this secret rhythm through storms, migrations, and the endless hum of the ocean's pulse. In a sense, whales have mastered something we humans still struggle to balance: how to stay alert to life's dangers and demands, yet still find moments to let go. Their half-dreams keep them alive. But perhaps they also show us how vital sleep really is, even if it comes in stolen moments and drifting half-slumbers. When we stand on a boat's deck or glimpse a whale's misty breath far out at sea, we're seeing more than a giant animal. We're watching a survivor who has learned to rest wisely in a place where rest is never guaranteed. Their silent drift reminds us how fragile and precious sleep can be. So next time you close your eyes, think of the whale beneath the waves, half of its mind surrendered to darkness, half tethered to light and air above. In that floating balance there is a lesson for us too, that even in a world that never stops moving, we must find our own ways to drift, recharge, and rise again.